feel the nature linger in my body. The oxygen comes out of my pores. The same shadows from the leaves on the side of the house. A part of me may live there one day. I have done nothing for weeks, and I don't mind. Open your eyes, look, see why it smells so bad. Nourish your discontent. Cultivate negative self-esteem. Elevate self-loathing to a spiritual practice. Proceed on the hypothesis that everything you are is a lie and everything you know is wrong, and try to disprove it. Jed McKenna. I may not know everything, but I know energy. I know when it's genuine, I know when it's strange, and I know when it shifts. I was waiting for something extraordinary to happen, but as the years wasted on, nothing ever did, unless I caused it. Charles Bukowski. Perfect purity is possible if you turn your life into a line of poetry written with a splash of blood. Yukio Mushimi. Yukio Mishima. Yukio Mushima. It's way beyond ironic that a place called the Holy Land is the location of the fiercest, most deeply felt hatred in the world. George Carlin. One of the saddest lessons of history is this. If we've been bamboozled long enough, we tend to reject any evidence of the bamboozle. We're no longer interested in finding out the truth. The bamboozle has captured us. It's simply too painful to acknowledge, even to ourselves, that we've been taken. Once you give a charlatan power over you, you almost never get it back. Carl Sagan. Don't think about making art, just get it done. Let everyone else decide if it's good or bad, whether they love it or hate it. While they're deciding, make even more art. Andy Warhol. At the present time, I long to sleep. I am sick of humanity. Camus. Wisdom is knowing what to do next. Skill is knowing how to do it. Virtue is doing it. David Starr Jordan. Half of the troubles of this life can be traced to saying yes too quickly and not saying no soon enough. Josh Billings. Keep your attention focused entirely on what is truly your concern and be clear that what belongs to others is their business and none of yours. When things feel overwhelming, remember, one thought at a time, one task at a time, one day at a time. From Teacher's Goals. If you are not willing to learn, no one can help you. If you are determined to learn, no one can stop you. In a closed society where everybody's guilty, the only crime is getting caught. In a world of thieves, the only final sin is stupidity. Hunter S. Thompson. There are two vices much darker and more serious than the rest. Lack of persistence and lack of self-control. Marcus Aurelius. The problem with the world is that fools and fanatics are always so certain of themselves, and wiser people so full of doubts. Bertrand Russell. The longer the explanation, the bigger the lie. The most important decision you will ever make is to be in a good mood. Voltaire. At some point in your childhood, you and your friends went out to play together for the last time, and nobody knew it. In any given moment, we have two options, to step forward into growth or to step back into safety. Abraham Maslow. If you knew how quickly people forget the dead, you would stop living to impress people. Do not sabotage yourself by unwittingly adopting negative, unproductive attitudes through your association with others. Epictetus. Tired. I'm so tired of waiting, aren't you? For the world to become good and beautiful and kind. Let us take a knife and cut the world in two and see what worms are eating at the rind. Langston Hughes. Within you, there is a stillness and sanctuary to which you can retreat at any time and be yourself. Herman Hesse. Deep sadness is most often mute and concealed. Dostoevsky. Poetry is just the evidence of life. If your life is burning well, poetry is just the ash. Leonard Cohen. Has it ever occurred to you that life is all memory, except for the one present moment that goes by you so quickly you hardly catch it going? Tennessee Williams. If you see someone falling behind, walk beside them. If you see someone being ignored, find a way to include them. Always remind people of their worth. One small act could mean the world to them. A post from Teacher's Goals. I write differently from what I speak. I speak differently from what I think. I think differently from the way I ought to think, and so it all proceeds into deepest darkness. Franz Kafka. Wearing a dead man's clothes. No directions. I don't know where to go. I found myself lost on a country road. I picked the wrong way. I didn't notice until the end of the day. I turned around, but by that time I couldn't see. I looked at the stars and moon as they ignored me. I walked blind like I was a mile was watching me. I looked down at my body, a skeleton is what I see. It made me think what's real isn't me. I decided to collapse along the road and be something to discover. I'm a pile of bones and my clothes will be my cover. Think for yourself or others will think for you without thinking of you. Henry David Thoreau. Wise men speak because they have something to say. Fools speak because they have to say something. Plato. It is better to act and repent than not to act and regret. Machiavelli. Kindness is the language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see. Mark Twain. Go wisely and slowly. Those who rush stumble and fall. William Shakespeare. When the heart gets too heavy with pain, people don't cry. They become silent. People hate when you show them how it feels to be treated the way they treat you. I am too insane to explain, and you are too normal to understand. Don't put me in a position where I have to show you how cold my heart can get. To achieve great things, two things are needed: a plan and not quite enough time. Leonard Bernstein. The highest purpose of art is to inspire. What else can you do? What else can you do for anyone but inspire them? Bob Dylan. I wanted real adventures to happen to myself, but real adventures, I reflected, do not happen to people who remain at home. They must be sought abroad. James Joyce. A lot of our explosive emotional reactions aren't actually a response to the present moment. They're a buildup of all the times we were in a similar dynamic and did not stand up for ourselves, use our voice, or express our emotions. Now I have neither happiness nor unhappiness. Everything